Welcome to Behind Recapped YouTube channel. Russia, which invaded Ukraine, has become into a minefield. Explosions are continuously occurring in Russia. The Russian Hearth Brigade isn't enough to put out the fires Russia is experiencing. The most difficult days in its history. There are distinctive claims, approximately the foundation of those explosions. Let's take a nearer look at the hearth in Russia to analyze these explosions and their consequences. The Russian military was planning to hold this struggle on Ukrainian territory. However, now the explosions are taking area in Russia. Nothing goes Putin's way in this battle. Another fireplace broke out in a purchasing center in Russia. These days, just 3 days ago, there has been a huge hearth in a shopping center in Moscow. The succession of the fires has made the Russian human beings very concerned. The roof of the story tract purchasing bill collapsed these days after a fire broke out in a building within the metropolis of Polishka, the Moscow areas. Emergency offerings stated safety features have been raised to the highest degree in all purchasing centers in Russia. The motive of these fires in purchasing department stores is still unknown. However, it is quite sudden that those fires occurred at some stage in the hours. Whilst the shopping facilities are closed, no civilians have been harmed within the fires, but property belonging to critical companies of the Russian economic system have been damaged. Further, Russian citizens are experiencing superb panic because of these attacks. There may be a totally serious decline in the number of people going to shopping department stores in Russia. There may be already a big economic disaster. In Russia, the Russian ruble keeps to depreciate daily in Moscow. The squares are embellished for brand spanking New Year's Eve. But the streets are full of closed shutters because many Russian businesses have long passed bankrupt in this method after the explosions in shopping shops in Russia. It's far south that extra groups will go bankrupt within the Russian economy. Explosions in Russia have now not only passed off in buying department stores, they may be having explosions at Navy bases in Russia in latest days. Certainly one of them became at a military airport. Fighter jets belonging to the Russian army have been damaged on this explosion. The other explosion occurred in a gas tanker near the Navy base. The gas tanker could not be extinguished for hours. Explosions are also taking location in Russian-occupied regions. The Russian appointed deputy governor of Aku's southern citadel place was injured in a vehicle explosion. The Charlie Bullock become severely injured in this explosion. The driving force of the auto lost his existence. Assaults against Russian-appointed bureaucrats in those areas are increasing. It is regarded that Russia will pay 2 salaries to the bureaucrats assigned in this location, but many bureaucrats still do not want to work within the occupied territories due to the fact Russian bureaucrats know that the Ukrainian Navy will unlock these ridges. Nobody needs to be part of a warfare that they may lose. The Ukrainian Navy is accomplishing huge operations to liberate Russian-occupied territories. Some other location where explosions have been heard these days become malleable. There had been many Russian infantrymen in this Russian-occupied region. The Ukrainian army has launched a massive offensive in opposition to these bases. The overall range of Russian soldiers killed in the closing 24 hours has passed 500. The Russian military is helpless within the face of humorous attacks. Russian bases ineligible have been destroyed. Way to the humors utilized by the Ukrainian military. HIMARS are the most crucial tools that exchange the course of this struggle. The humors stated to Ukraine by way of the United States have a very detrimental power. HIMARS can deliver 6 missiles on the equal time they can ship these missiles up to 80 kilometers away. One of these massive range of HIMARS puts to Russian Navy in a completely hard scenario.